Attention, visitors. Attention. The quieter things get, the louder the colors, the flora, the fauna, the arena of serene applause of water lapping wind. Pause, friends. Up ahead, the same place twice. Twice. Affection, guys. There's a cloud of joy underfoot. Clear to Canada and back. To Native America. Thank you for tending to again and again. I think working with poetry is really stimulating because it can really take you to kind of a limit of human experience because it's using language in the way that it exists in our minds and in the psyche. In a really parallel way, being in the natural world is also kind of being at the limit of the human because you're around, the non-human living world. Experiencing wilderness and tuning into your environment, I think, can be really transformative for identity. We're really so urgently involved in trying to figure out equity for gender and race and class that sometimes those markers can really be overly defining for us. And I think it can just be such a radical experience to be in the natural world and kind of have to recalibrate who you are and what are the kind of axes that you orient yourself around. One of the major themes in my work is place and sort of identity and how it ties to place. And as an immigrant to the US, I think mastering the English language was a really important thing to me. It was kind of sink or swim with that. So creative writing kind of was a real clear extension of kind of self-expression and, being able to represent myself and, kind of get along with everybody. As an immigrant to the United States, your experience of history and, country is usually through the dominant power structure. So, for me, in trying to explore what this place is that I'm sort of trying to say I am from or trying to kind of claim, that process has been really a discovery of how so many other narratives exist right alongside, my own. How do I understand where I'm trying to be from if I don't understand how so many other people have, built up an experience of it or a history of it? This project, HOMES, which is the, acronym of the Great Lakes, came out of a really long process of kind of revelation about this bioregion that's in the middle of the continent. And at first I was doing a lot of writing that was kind of about nature and culture and place. And, those poems kind of increasingly felt like they needed to live off the page a bit. I think I just felt like when you're really writing about place and you're writing about nature, it's just not enough to kind of leave it there. I wanted to find ways to incorporate it into place physically or just, try to find some more, interdisciplinary forms to kind of really enliven that work. So in 2016, I worked with the 5 major Great Lakes National Parks on a poetry installation connected to the National Park Service Centennial. That project involved 25 poems that were installed in 5 different parks around the Great Lakes, and I collaborated with the parks to select sites that were really suited for these different texts, and in a lot of cases, the poems themselves were written with a specific site in mind. So creating the text so that they somehow spoke to that particular space. I hope that people encounter those signs and feel that there's a little bit of humility in the artwork, Whereas sometimes if you're experiencing art in a book or in a gallery, you just kind of hit a wall with having a real, authentic encounter with it. I'd like to think that putting those poems in the middle of those natural spaces allows them to kind of speak quietly for people who are out there enjoying that space in their own way. As an Arab American artist, I think I have a lot of leeway to explore identity politics. And yet, for me, it's actually most important to have that aspect of my identity present in completely different sorts of explorations. No matter what I do, I'm really always thinking about how language is the primary medium for the ways that we experience the world. I'm just really interested in using poetry because it's a non-narrative form of capturing language, and it can kind of just skirt, the logic and the plot, and just really work with the ways that our minds are kind of constantly associating experiences and calling forth memories. All of that is just such a linguistic process. It's nice to be able to experiment with an order for this manuscript of Great Lakes poems, just by sort of being able to see all the work at once and kind of just think about what sits well next to other work. These are images of places from all around the Great Lakes, and being able to invite people into the tent to kind of mess with them and write on them or trace them or collage them is just a really simple but really engaging way to connect with people on their own terms about where they're from in the region. Exploring what it means to belong to a place can be really radically transformed when you try to think of that place as a geography instead of a political boundary. As someone who's not from here and is kind of working through what it means to belong here, I'm trying to imagine and have other people imagine with me a geography or a place or a core that is kind of a point of orientation that can transcend some of those other boundaries that we build around us.